Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Tiana Xavier.
And I'm Jake Salvi. Welcome to the Morning Brew. We begin this morning with breaking news. We've just learned a Siena College faculty member is facing charges for embezzling millions of dollars.
This is a story that you're seeing first here on SCTV. His name is Julio Medina, and he was a criminal justice lecturer, and he is also the former CEO of Exodus.
Exodus Transitional Community is the nonprofit Medina is accused of embezzling money from. Amber Fisher has been following this story. Amber, what do we know about the charges that Medina is facing?
Thank you, Jake and Tiana. We have just confirmed with Siena College and with a law enforcement source that the Julio Medina that was just indicted was the same Julio Medina that was a lecturer here at Siena College. He was a lecturer of criminal justice. Medina is facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and the use of a facility of interstate commerce in aid of commercial bribery, amongst other charges, alongside Christopher Dantzler and Wei Hong Hu are also being charged. Medina was arrested in the Bronx by the New York City Department of Investigations in partnership with the FBI. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Medina embezzled $51 million in public funds from the emergency housing program into Dantzler and Hu's businesses. Medina founded the nonprofit in June of 2020 and was contracted with Mayor Eric Adams' office for the emergency housing program, which was intended to combat the spread of COVID-19 in New York City jails. According to a New York Times report, Wei Hong Hu, who is also being charged, has close ties to New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who is currently facing a corruption case. Medina is alleged to have taken at least $2.5 million in bribes from Dantzler and Hu in exchange for steering the funds away from the housing program. The U.S. Attorney's Office also alleges that Medina took $750,000 for a house renovation in Clifton Park, a $1.2 million townhouse in Upper Manhattan, luxury cars, as well as other kickbacks. All three have pled not guilty and are currently awaiting trial. We will keep you updated as this case continues to develop. With SCTV reporting live from Siena College, I'm Amber Fisher. Jake, Tiana, back to you.
This week, storms have been blanketed Siena College in snow and ice. Jake, you went around campus and talked to students about how the storm has impacted them. So let's take a look at how students are handling the weather.
That's right, Tiana, and students were not happy. I also spoke to the provost of Siena College, who gave us a better idea about how these decisions are made. Siena College, along with the Capital Region, has received heavy snowfall over the past week. For me, that just means I have to go report on it because there are no snow days in the journalism field. But there hasn't been any snow days for the students at Siena College either, and that, they say, is starting to impact their everyday lives.
I think as commuters, the roads, especially because we're all coming from different areas, so like there's ice like on, like right outside my house, like that road doesn't get cleaned that often, so I gotta like wait a while.
I sprained my ankle last week, so that's something. That wasn't fun. I was walking, hanging up flyers, and there's an icy spot. Slipped, rolled my ankle pretty bad, and it was pretty purple and blue in the morning, so that wasn't fun.
So I'll go first. Like for me, I live in the dorms, and I don't have a car, but it's like really difficult to go to classes. Yeah.
And personally for me, I live off campus, so I have to drive here every day, and when it's really snowing and my car has almost had like accidents and stuff, so it's not really good for people to drive here on snow days, and I'd prefer to stay home and take care of myself.
The heavy snowfall has been impacting the students' lives in meaningful ways, and because of this, Siena decided to give a 2-hour delay this week.
No, it should have been a full snow day. That was horrendous, and everything was just a sheet of ice, and everyone was sliding around. Especially because we have a lot of hills on campus. I saw so many people like falling. It was bad.
Not a doubt in my mind. I mean, as someone who never really had snow days in high school, I've been used to it, but I mean, there's like 3 inches of ice just flat on the ground.
Yeah, I think it should have been a full snow day because when you walk outside, it was literally like sheets of ice. It was really bad. Like I was walking to my class, like there was like ice chunks falling from trees. Like I feel like it was really dangerous actually.
The students were unhappy with the decision to call a 2-hour delay over a snow day, and on top of that, the students have also expressed displeasure with the way Siena handles the snow and ice already on the ground.
I think they could definitely do a better job. It's very icy all the time. It's very slushy, and my shoes are getting soaked Yeah, and I think they could definitely do a better job shoveling.
Yeah. Even just now, like I'm almost like slipping, falling outside. Like it's really hard to walk around.
No. Siena is working with what they have, and that's understandable, but I think the safety of their students is more important than walking to class, falling, breaking a leg, the risks of that.
Absolutely not. I don't think they know what they're doing at all. Outside my house, there's still a giant sheet of ice. It still hasn't been picked up, and it's been 2 days now.
The students at Siena College are rather opinionated on this issue, so we went and talked to the provost at Siena to see what goes into calling a snow day.
The things like the timing, as you probably know, snowstorms sometimes are predicted to last for several hours. Sometimes it's a moving squall that's, only lasts a half an hour, but it's moving really quickly. We always look at the conditions on campus, because if there's been a significant snowfall, the facilities folks have to clear the sidewalks and the parking lots for people to come in to go to work or to go to classes. So we pay a lot of attention on that.
A lot goes into calling a snow day, but whether we call one or not, Dr. Madden doesn't want students taking any unnecessary risks.
The most important thing that we need to communicate is that we do not want people to take risks. So even if we've made a decision not to close campus, if somebody's in one of those pockets where the roads are really bad, we don't want them to set out. We start talking to each other at about 5 in the morning, and folks who are on campus communicate about the conditions on campus. We look at the weather reports, obviously. We look at road conditions.
There's no doubt that Siena will continue to receive snowfall for a little while longer. And whether we receive a snow day or not, the school has made it clear that student safety is their top priority. Reporting from Loudonville with the Morning Brew, I'm Jake Sow. The Commuter Student Association is doing their part to help commuters on campus deal with the icing conditions. They hosted a grab and go for the snow event.
Passing out hand warmers, ice scrapers, whistles, and more, they will be hosting more events that honor the commuter population throughout the semester. Alongside this cold weather, Siena Health Services continues to see an increase in students coming down with the flu.
We sent our Morning Brew's Joe Lemry to look into this outbreak and to see what students can do to keep themselves healthy.
With flu season in full effect, Siena College Health Promotions and Health Center are doing their part to help students be as prepared as possible.
Well, there's a couple of basic things to help prevent getting flu on campus. So we encourage students to wash your hands often, clean your room, especially if your roommate's been sick. Take some time to wipe down and clean the room. If you are starting to feel sick, it's just basic things like covering your mouth when you sneeze or cough.
So if you get sick with the flu, we want you to give us a call here at Student Health Services. You'll speak with our triage nurse. She will decide if you need to come in and be seen. We do have a test that tests you guys COVID and flu.
To continue to be really healthy on campus, I would say to, if you have any questions or concerns, we have a lot of great resources on campus. So obviously, in order to take care of your physical health, we have the gym, we have a dietitian on campus looking at healthy food choices. If you are starting to feel sick, the Health Services Center located up in the townhouses is great. You can always call and talk to a triage nurse there to assess your symptoms, to see if they need to come in for an appointment, to be able to diagnose and kind of figure out what's going on.
The first thing is you guys really need to stay in and isolate if you are sick. There's been a lot of kids going in each other's rooms sick. The other thing is we want you to wash your hands. It goes back to the oldie but goodie things. Wash your hands, get a lot of rest, hydration, Tylenol, things like that for symptom relief.
Best thing to do to prevent the flu is to get your flu shot. So you can still go pharmacy right down the street to get your flu shot, and that really is the number one key to help prevent contracting the flu.
Reporting for SCTV, I'm Joe Lemry.
Today is the last day to complete the National College Health Assessment Survey. Siena is looking to assess students' health behaviors to provide better support and services for the Saints.
Students who complete it will be randomly selected to win prizes, including free parking passes, and Siena swag bags. Participated in this survey, voluntary and confidential. Siena is highly revered for helping students land a job after graduation.
How, you might ask? Our own Ethan Smith has the story.
Siena College prides themselves on being one of the top schools in the nation, let alone the entire state, at getting a job out of college. How do they keep that promise to their students? One of the ways, look no further than the Career Expo. Siena serves a student union, home to Casey's, WVCR Radio, and today the Career Expo. Today is one of 3 days dedicated to numerous students meeting and networking with potential employers in the field.
Honestly, it can be really scary to talk to people in the professional world when you're just getting out of college. I was super nervous walking in, and I know I was talking to a couple other people who were nervous. So it's kind of like a low stakes environment where you can just learn to talk to people.
I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for people to get out there, to see different things, to get to talk to people that are in the area and perhaps elsewhere as far as just figuring out what to do after Siena.
And it seems like the students agree it's a major step in the right direction.
Well, I do think that they have a very diverse group here. I think that being able to have all these different connections and to connect them further with their students.
The event is equally important to many employers there as well, such as St. Peter's Health Partners and Albany Medical Center, who know they need new nurses to counter a nationwide shortage.
Well, the importance of showing up to an event like this is getting the information out there. Especially when you graduate, you're confused, not necessarily knowing where you want to go, what you want to do. It's a big life choice. So when you have the ability to talk to recruiters like myself, you get an inside track of where you can take your career, what you can do with it, and how you can expand your skills that you're gaining now.
Extremely important to partner up with the colleges, high schools, and just work with the students because that is our future, bringing in the staff and coaching and molding them into becoming a nurses or anything, any other major within the Albany Med. We have multiple opportunities at the Albany Medical Center.
But you can't just hire anyone, so the event gives employers a chance to meet with students and discuss what they can bring to the table.
Events like this, hosting, exploring, and explaining to them what the hospitals can do, and just opening up the doors for the shadowings so the young students can see what kind of opportunities they can do within the colleges.
And eventually the end goal is for students to land a job after walking the stage.
So one of the companies I spoke to already was the Naval Nuclear Labs. I'm from a town where they have a laboratory, so I have some family connections to the company. I'd be really interested in working with them.
It also just shows how good of a school Siena is to have those types of connections.
Just another way Siena goes above and beyond to ensure the education the students are receiving works out in the long run. With the Morning Brew, I'm Ethan Smith.
Siena welcomed Esquire and alumna Kylie Mason to campus to talk about the threat of paternalism and how it is a threat to women on both sides of criminal law.
She touched upon domestic violence and her experience with clients in the courtroom.
I think one message that I would give to the next generation of the criminal justice department is it is incredibly easy to get very jaded about the work that we do, and it's very easy to kind of fall into old stereotypes and old feelings, and I think that is a huge danger to the criminal justice system. And so I think whatever you have to do to try and stay fresh and alert and hopeful, you should do, whether that's work or family or something else. So.
Gender and Sexuality Studies minor. More speakers will be brought to campus throughout the semester. The Siena College Research Institute just released a new poll about online sports betting. The popularity of online gambling has increased in recent years.
The poll found that 22% of Americans have an active sports betting account, and over 35% of Americans support online sports betting being legal in all 50 states. The poll was conducted in partnership with St. Bonaventure University. Summer internship applications are now being accepted by the New York State Student Intern Program.
The program welcomes applications from graduate and undergraduate students, allowing them to receive academic credit while gaining valuable hands-on experience. You can visit the New York State Internships website for more information. The North Colony School District is looking for mentors and tutors for students in grades 6 through 12.
This is a paid opportunity open to all majors with flexible scheduling. There is more information sessions that you can RSVP to for in room 226 in Rossetti this Wednesday, February 26. Siena is giving the class of 2029 a chance to get to know the campus with their most recent Accepted Students Day.
Our own Ethan Smith takes a look at what Siena is doing for our future Saints.
Siena College is regarded as a prominent and well-respected college both state and nationwide. And the success of the college starts right here on Accepted Students Day.
And it's one of the things that we really focus on because it's so important for the students to come on campus and truly experience campus. So when I'm up on stage and I can talk about all the accolades and all the different things, it's really their job to make sure what I'm telling them is accurate.
And in the eyes of the college, the student recruitment process is what keeps the doors open and the mission statement stronger than ever.
Can't fulfill Siena's mission if we don't have students, right? So recruiting a freshman class is a primary goal, not just for admissions and enrollment, but really it takes an entire college to showcase what Siena is all about.
Admissions Day isn't the only time that the college looks for potential students either. No, Siena does their homework on these new freshmen as early as high school.
We start when they're sophomores in high school, just trying to increase their awareness of everything that Siena provides and all the benefits of a Siena education.
On Admissions Day, the Saints do everything they can to engage the students, making them feel like they belong.
You come to this campus and you feel like you belong. So how do we take that feeling and package it into, a few hours for these families? We played Siena Feud to kick off the event, right? And that's fun, and it gets people involved, and it gets them hanging out and meeting each other.
That's a lot of information to take in all at once. But for President Seifert and Kelly O'Donnell, one has to wonder what they think is the most important tools a freshman will need to succeed on campus their first year.
The harder you try in the beginning, the easier it is at the end. And that works for class, and that works for your entire college career.
Yeah, Siena is the place where, your future begins, and you can come here and be anything that you want to be. And we will customize the educational experience specifically for you, and then you're going to take Siena with you for the rest of your life, right? We talk about the education for a lifetime.
Siena reeled in a huge crowd for Accepted Students Day this year, a key step in ensuring the college continues to shine for many years to come. With the Morning Brew, I'm Ethan Smith.
Thanks, Ethan. And it can be a stressful time to transition into college, and it looks like Siena is doing all it can to make future Saints feel welcomed. And Siena is bringing back our own version of TED Talks to campus with a Saints Talk event. The Saints Talk Committee is looking for presentation proposals. It will feature 5 presentations from members of the Siena community, and the topics can be anything from inspiring experiences to cutting-edge research.
Saints Talk will debut on Thursday, May 1st, and if you have any questions, you can email communications@siena.edu.
Last night, the Student Events Board hosted a grab-and-go Lego event.
Siena students got to unleash their creativity and were provided with Lego sets to build. SCB's next event is a Family Feud game show next Thursday at 8 p.m.
Still to come, Katie Rogers sits down with Siena alumni to discuss how they're giving back to their alma mater and helping students prepare for law school.
Coming up after break, we'll look into shocking news coming out of the basketball world.
Also coming up, I talked to the Associate Director of Health Promotion about how students can work to better recognize mental health issues in their peers.
The law school admission test isn't cheap. Tutoring can cost thousands of dollars, and the test itself costs over $200. To support students, Siena has joined institutions like John Jay, Quinnipiac, Rutgers, and dozens more in offering an LSAT prep course. Former Siena students and current Albany Law students Nathan Madison and Victor Gelfuso are giving back to their alma maters by helping Siena students prepare for the exam and their law school careers. This 1 hour, once-a-week course will provide valuable support to students facing the challenges of LSAT preparation. Nathan and Victor, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Just to get it started, what motivated you guys to offer this course for Siena students?
I can start. So I think for me, a lot of it was Dr. Cutler, the director of the Brew Law program here. He kind of just sent out like a call for recent alumni to come and help out. And for me at least, I thought it was a great idea. I mean, studying here, I studied on my own. I didn't use a testing service. I just bought like a paperback book. So I think if this class was offered when I was a student here, I definitely would have taken it.
Yeah, similar to Nathan, I saw that Dr. Cutler reached out, and I just thought the idea of getting to work with students who are only a few years behind us in terms of their law school journey would be really rewarding, and it's been great to be a part of that.
Okay, great. So speaking of Dr. Cutler, he sent me just a short quote. He said, "The higher the score, the greater bargaining power for the student applicant. It is that simple." So given this, how does the LSAT prep course that you guys are offering help students maximize their scores and position themselves for these better opportunities?
I can start us on that. I think really what the course has been able to do for students is to provide structure in the studying process. So as Nathan had just mentioned, even with the course, a lot of the LSAT studying is something that has to be done independently. And I think most estimates will say that most test takers need to spend at least 150 to 300 hours of preparation. So most of the prep still has to be done outside of class. But what the class allows us to do is give examples of what types of things students should be studying and get that hands-on feedback in the middle of the class where they can ask questions and then have more of a path forward for their independent studying in addition to the class.
Great. And so you guys started this class last semester with Nick DeScala as well. But since then, what do you guys think you've learned from this experience and been able to improve this semester from last?
I think this semester we've definitely gotten a better understanding of like who our students are, because starting in we kind of weren't really sure just like what stage of the process they're in, because we had sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and most people apply for law school at the beginning of their senior year. So this time at least for me, when I'm teaching the class, I find I'm trying to do more of a Q&A based rather than a pure lecture based, just because there are some students who have been studying for months, and there's some students who just generally knew they were interested in law school without really knowing what was on the test. So just kind of making sure the lessons are just broad enough where both types of students are able to take something away from it is something that I've kind of adapted my lesson plans to.
And what do you guys find to be the most common struggle that students have when starting out their LSAT and law school journey?
I think the biggest thing is just knowing where to begin. So there's so many different types of test preparation services out there, and there's all kinds of different books, lots of different services. And I think that might be overwhelming at first because you don't know like where should I start. But with our class, I handle the logical reasoning section, and Nathan takes care of reading comprehension. So we're able to give the students, show them example questions, and then discuss strategy techniques and the type of approach they should take for particular questions. So once they have that understanding, they can then go apply that in their independent studying.
And how has this, or how do you think this will reshape the legal education that is given at higher level institutions like Siena?
Well, I'm hoping that it's going to make it more equitable, right? For students, I mean, speak for myself, like it wasn't really feasible for me to spend a couple $1,000s on like a privatized study program. So I think just making sure that students who don't have as much like financial leeway to spend money on private tutors like that can benefit from this. It's only a 1-credit course, so it really doesn't add too much, and we don't assign homework really, so it doesn't add too much to a student's actual workload. So just making sure students know how to study for the test, where they should look for resources, and then even just because we're current law students, I think both of us have made ourselves available just to answer any questions that students have. So especially for like first generation students, I think it's important just to know that someone else from Siena had gone through the process and that we're here to answer any questions they have.
So you mentioned that you guys make yourselves available, which is wonderful. How has it been for students knowing that you guys are available for this kind of advice and like real life advice, because you guys are current law students and you've gone through this process already? How has that been helpful for them, do you think?
I think what's been a real asset for them is that they have so much access to us. So for example, like we get to class early and stay afterwards, and people can just come up and talk to us, and it's not just about the LSAT. So sometimes they'll have questions for us about, what should I do this summer before I go to law school, or maybe I talked to some people who aren't even sure that they definitely want to go to law school yet. So just getting that type of discussions with the students is really beneficial, and they can hear from our personal experiences, which it was only a few years ago that we were in the position that they were. So
yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys being here and being able to discuss this with us, and hopefully this is a program that Siena keeps around for years to come, even after you guys have graduated law school. So thank you both again. If you're interested in this class for next semester, keep an eye out for a message from Kathy Renaud in your email inbox and in the Student Digest as the registration period begins. Coming up next, Jake Salvi tells us about Cynthia Erivo's next big musical and the latest in basketball news. And still to come, Joe Lemery will be meeting with the Ambassadors Club as they discuss what it means to be a Saint.
Welcome back in entertainment news. LeVar Ball, father of basketball player Lonzo and LaMelo Ball and breakout rapper LiAngelo Ball, recently had his foot amputated. TMZ is reporting that he had a serious medical issue which required the procedure. No one from the family has publicly commented on the issues. However, images released show that LeVar is in high spirits post-operations. Last Friday, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's house was broken into and burglarized. Reports are saying that this robbery is the latest in the line of a list of celebrities falling victims in burglaries in that area. A security guard said that the burglar broke through the glass door. It is unknown at the time if anything was stolen from the house, but we know both Kidman and Urban and their children were outside of the house and safe. An update in the Sean Diddy Combs case as his attorneys are moving to dismiss one of the charges. They are arguing that Combs is being subjected to a racist prosecution, although the claim has previously been denied. The charge, Diddy's defense, is attempting to dismiss its transportation to engage in prostitution. However, one of the prosecutors claimed that Combs and his defense were making baseless claims. Combs is currently facing 3 federal charges. He has pleaded guilty to all 3 charges and is currently being held in the Federal Detention Center in New York City. In other news, hip-hop star A$AP Rocky, whose name is Rakim Mayers, was just found not guilty on 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. The trial lasted 3 weeks as Myers chose to gamble with his freedom. He turned down an offer from the prosecution for only 6 months in jail with other conditions. Mayers was facing over 2 decades in prison if found guilty on these charges. It was found that A$AP Rocky had fired a prop gun, which was only fired blanks, and was later set as a free man. He immediately embraced Rihanna and his family after the verdict and was thanking the jury profusely. Mindy Kaling became the first South Asian woman to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Indian-American actor, who was the best known for her roles in The Office and Mindy Project. Her excellent work on camera and behind the scenes given her the opportunity to grow within Hollywood and continue her success. She has created and produced shows such as Never Have I Ever and Sex Lives of College Girls, both shows centered around South Asians and women. She continues to work hard and inspire the next generation of South Asian stars. It has recently been revealed that Cynthia Erivo, star in the new Wicked movie, will be starring as Jesus in the new movie Jesus Christ Superstar. David Daniel has the latest from Hollywood.
Cynthia Erivo is going from Elphaba to Jesus. The Oscar-nominated actress is set to play the title role in a production of Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl this summer. Erivo played Mary Magdalene in an all-female version of the iconic musical in 2020.
I've reason to believe we both will be received at Graceland.
So much for retirement. Paul Simon has announced on social media his Quiet Celebration Tour, kicking off April 4th in New Orleans. The music legend, who's lost some of his hearing, had indicated he was retiring 7 years ago after what he called his farewell tour.
We were already registered to be shipped off to Auschwitz.
I never thought they would tell me their story.
Unbroken tells the remarkable story of 7 siblings who hid in Nazi Germany for 2 years after their mother's death at a concentration camp, then made it to the U.S. only to be separated for 40 years. The documentary is in theaters and on VOD Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Coming up after break, reporter Joe Lemry takes an in-depth look at Siena's ambassador program. Plus, our own Jake Salvi sat down with Kathy Dockham to talk about mental health resources on campus. Stick with us.
Welcome back. This morning we are highlighting mental health on campus. Siena College has an array of resources available to students, and today I am joined by Kathy Dockham, Associate Director of Health Promotion at Siena College. Thank you so much for joining. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Jake. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, and let's just get this started with the first question. Can you tell me what mental health first aid training would look like?
Sure, yeah. So mental health first aid training is an 8-hour training that we offer here on campus, and it teaches people how to recognize someone who may be having a mental health crisis or a substance use crisis, and how to help them get connected to resources on campus. So we partner with a local organization called Mahaney's, and they come on campus every couple of months to train faculty, staff, administrators, and students. And at this point, we've had over 400 Siena community members trained, and it really can help people start to get a little bit more comfortable talking about mental health and how to help reduce the stigma associated with mental health. And so overall, the training really focuses on teaching people how you can recognize signs and symptoms of different mental health diagnoses, how to respond to someone without judgment, and get them connected to resources either on campus or off campus, how to really encourage that professional help, and then talk to them about other kind of supports that are out there too, like to be able to help with their self-care.
Yeah, definitely sounds worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then I know you said talking about the training kind of works on how to identify these signs, and how would you identify signs that someone is maybe kind of struggling with their mental health?
Great question. So we want to look for kind of a consistent pattern, perhaps like about 2 weeks of changes that we've noticed in our friends or family. So, everyone has a bad day, but we want to really look at that pattern of, and starting to listen to our gut that what we're seeing, what we're observing, something is definitely different. So that may be like behavioral changes. So perhaps your friend was someone that was really engaged in going to the gym, getting to class on time, hanging out with their friends, and now they're really starting to withdraw from those experiences. They're maybe sleeping more, sleeping less. There's changes in their eating patterns. Perhaps you're just noticing that they seem kind of more hopeless or just depressed lately or sad or have more mood swings happening. And starting to really listen to what they're saying. So are they saying that they're feeling overwhelmed or they're stressed? So in combination, you're looking at all these different signs over this kind of consistent pattern of time, and that can really alert you that something may be going on with their mental health.
Hey, and if I do notice that my friend or someone I know is kind of struggling with their mental health, what are some of the things that I can do to kind of let them know that I'm there and help?
Yeah, so first thing is trust your instincts. Pay attention. You know your friends and family, and you know kind of their typical behavior and when something's off. So if you're concerned, think about the finding of the right time and place to be able to have a conversation with them. So this is not something that's going to happen, in the line at Saga or something like that. Find kind of a private time for you to connect with them and really communicate what you've been observing. So, I'm concerned that, you haven't been going to class, or I'm just worried about you, kind of using those I statements to show that you care. And then just really ask what's been happening and what's going on in their life, and be listening to them, kind of have a non-judgmental kind of presence, and start to talk with them to see if they're interested in getting connected to resources. Thankfully, here on campus, we have a great counseling center located in the basement of Foy Hall that provides free and confidential counseling services to students. There are other resources, different programs on campus and things like that that we can always provide as well. But you can just continue to check in with them. They may be hesitant at first to get connected to treatment, but you can just continue to check in on how they're doing and help them, just remind them about what the supports are that are here for them. And obviously, if there's any immediate concern about your friend's safety, always contact public safety to really make sure that person is safe in that immediate moment. But just continuing to be a good human, really just continue to check in with them, talk with them, and just remind them that you're here for them.
And then why should Siena students kind of work to be that lifeline on campus?
That's a great question. We recently did a survey on campus, and we found that when someone is struggling on campus, they are much more likely to turn to a friend first versus a faculty member or a staff member here on campus when they're struggling. So our hope is to really empower then other students with these different training opportunities to recognize the warning signs, how to be able to have those conversations with your friends that you're concerned about, and then be able to know what resources are available to help them get connected, because it really can be like a life-saving kind of conversation. So that's really why we want to empower Siena students with this information, because you guys really are the front line and your friends are turning to you first.
And this all sounds like very important information that someone would want to have. So where can we go to, where does this training take place?
Sure, yep. So mental health first aid training we offer throughout the academic year. We have another training coming up on May 13th and again on August 26th. You can go to our Siena College Health Promotion website to sign up. If you can't make those dates, then that's okay. We offer other kind of trainings on campus too that are website lists. We offer what's called QPR training. It's a 60-minute virtual suicide prevention training that is available for any Siena student. It's free. And you can do it at your own pace, and it will walk you through how to recognize when someone is having a suicidal crisis and how to help them. We also offer another a training on campus called Brave Talk, and it's like a very condensed kind of mental health first aid training. It's a 60-minute training that I've done with different groups across campus, and it helps recognize signs on when your friend may be struggling and how to have that conversation with them that you're concerned and how to help them get connected to supports on campus. So all that information is on our website. We have an Instagram called Healthy Saints. You can follow us. We post information about upcoming trainings there. And then our email address for Health Promotion Office is healthysaints@siena.edu. So we can always answer the questions that way as well.
Perfect. And then I know you touched on a survey a little bit earlier. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the National College Health Assessment Survey?
Yeah, so the National College Health Assessment Survey, this is a large survey that multiple colleges and universities run across the country. And at Siena, we're currently running it now. We run it every 3 years, and it gives us a great picture of all the kind of health-related, wellness-related questions specific to Siena students. So how do you feel about your physical health, your mental health? And we take that data, it's anonymous, confidential data that we collect, and it really helps us determine what sort of programming we need to put in place in the future. So if we're seeing certain trends or themes around physical health or mental health, that really lets us know we need to be doing more in this area or this area. So a survey, every Siena student should have gotten an email from me over the last couple of weeks with their unique survey link. If you didn't, please feel free to reach out, but this is your unique survey link. It takes about 15 minutes to complete. It's an electronic survey, and then once you complete it, you are entered into a raffle. We're giving away hopefully some appealing prizes like free parking for next year, a housing priority upgrade number if you had a bad housing number, early move-in passes, some swag and things like that. So we really want your feedback. We really listen to that data, and it really helps us shape future programming and wellness programming on campus here.
Those are some bigger words. I think I have to complete it now, too. Everyone else should as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. That's all we have for the interview today. But when we come back, Joe Lemery highlights the Siena College Ambassadors Program for this week's segment of Join the Club. Plus, Chris takes us to meet our Kirka Student of the Week, Maya Villanova. And looking to find your Zen this midterm season, yoga is coming back to campus. Find out more in the week ahead.
The Center for Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity announced their Student of the Week this morning on the Student Digest. This week's recipient was Maya Villanueva. Morning Brew's Chris Hicks has the story.
The Kirka Student of the Week is an award presented to a student to highlight their unique research. This week's recipient is the Biology Department's Maya Villanueva, who is really just getting started with her research career.
So I got into research when I was a junior here at Siena. I had been in the bio department for a while and I was looking to get more involved. And the professors here at Siena are super kind and always willing to help. So I just looked at Siena's research biology webpage and looked at Dr. Maxwell's and saw that his research is something I would be interested in because he works with yeast cells and it has to do with aging, and I thought that might be very interesting. So I asked him and he had space in his lab.
Although Maya may not have as much research experience as other students, her hard work in the lab has been noticed.
It means a lot to me to be recognized for my research. I haven't been doing it as long as other people may have, but I feel that I put a decent amount of effort into research here. I care about what I get out of this, and I'm always excited to present at the academic showcases and show some of my work with the Siena community here.
There are many different research topics throughout the school science departments. However, Maya's caught the attention of the Kirka program, making her the top candidate for this week's award.
Right now we study retrotransposons, and we use baker's yeast as a model organism. So retrotransposons are mobile DNA elements, and they can jump to different positions within a cell's genome. And we're particularly interested in how retrotransposons might be connected to cellular aging.
Maya gives credit to the success in her research to the guidance of her instructor, Dr. Maxwell.
It's very much a mentor-student relationship. He guides me through all the research that I do. If I have any questions, he has an answer right away for me. I've been able to learn so many new lab techniques in the lab, and I've also gained a lot of confidence in lab courses outside of this, just in my major.
Dr. Maxwell was impressed with the speed at which Maya was able to learn and eventually help other students as well.
So Maya's worked with me for multiple semesters, so probably about the first year or so she worked with me. She did one set of experiments, and then over the summer she worked with me and she started doing totally different other experiments. Yet I had 2 new students in the summer, and she could still kind of teach them how to do stuff even though it was also new for her. So I feel like, she got a lot more comfortable and she kind of knew the basics enough. And so now she got to a point where she could actually help me help the other students learn how to do stuff in the lab.
The research Maya has been doing has gained recognition within the school. However, she hopes it will transfer over to new opportunities post-graduation.
Gaining research experience here will open doors in my future as far as doing research in medical school and learning about different model organisms and all the different tests that we can do. I think it's opened a lot of different educational opportunities for me.
Maya spends a lot of her time working on her studies or her research, but what does a student like her do when she's not in the classroom or the lab?
In my free time, I've got a couple of hobbies. I've been getting into crocheting. I also really like hiking, but I like to wait until the weather's a little bit nicer for that. And also just reading is very nice as well.
It's been quite the journey for Maya with her research so far. Hope to see much more from her in the future. From Loudonville, New York, with the Morning Brew, I'm Chris Hicks.
Have you ever wanted to become a tour guide on campus? Well, you're in luck. Joan Lemry takes us there in this week's edition of Join the Club.
Siena College is always looking for the next student. From transfers to new first-year students, the Ambassadors Program leads the charge to help these prospective students make their decision.
Well, Joe Ambassadors is an on-campus job. It is tour guides during the school year itself. We provide tours to different families of prospective students, no matter what grade they are, primarily high school students as well. Sometimes we get group tours from elementary schools and high schools as well too. However, it's all about providing the families a nice tour of Siena, showing them what Siena life is really like as well.
The organization is always looking for new Saints to join in and become a part of the team.
Students should join Ambassadors because not only A, is an on-campus job that provides students pay throughout the year for each tour they give and each meeting they attend, but also it is a way to also get closer with our families of prospective students and connect to them. Like I said, it's all about paying it back and ensuring that each family has a unique Siena experience too, which is fantastic because who knows, they may be in your shoes becoming ambassador one day, 4 years, 3 or 2 years down the road, or even maybe that next year.
We've joined the club. I'm Joe Lemry.
Welcome to What's Fizzin'. Here's what everyone's been talking about this week. The first fizz we got is how my professors feel after walking in 5 minutes late and saying, "I bet you guys thought class was canceled, haha." On mommy, if my professor ever did this, I'm walking straight out. I'm not doing that if they're making fun of me. Next one, I feel like a zoo animal with all these tours. Let me do my homework in peace. Yeah, to be honest, we're all just the NPCs now on college tours, but just kind of blessed to have made it here. Thought I was going to fail out my first semester, so we're here. Next one, something about the snow really brings out the creativity in Siena students. Some of the new parking spots people come up with are really impressive. I'm going to take this as a compliment because I genuinely think my car is parked at a 45-degree angle on a snowbank right now, but I am not walking halfway across campus in this weather. The next one we got is whoever stole my Papa John's from DoorDash, screw you. And the refizz was my B, goated order though, bro. In full honesty, if you ordered Papa John's from DoorDash, you so deserve to get that stolen. And I hope it was at least 30 bucks. The next one, does anyone ever get bored and turn on Netflix and decide you're not ready for that kind of commitment and then grab your phone and watch TikToks and Reels for the next 4 hours? This is my bedtime routine every day, so this is arguably the most relatable post I've ever seen in my life. Next one, my biggest fear is someone is going to hack Fizz and reveal everyone's name. I'm not scared at all. Everything I post on Fizz, I completely and fully back, so if you're scared of your opinions and posts, that's a little bit shaming on you, and you should probably stop. Why is my group on projects somehow always the most dysfunctional and incompetent collection of people in the class possible? I think you might be the problem on this one. This is definitely your fault, and I'm going to implore you to step it up, so I'm not grouped up with you. The DNA of people who hold the door for you, just picture cool goats, that's because Saints hold doors, and we are the best college this nation has ever seen. Roll Saints. The next one is, I love condensing a week's worth of homework into one high-pressure night. This is the greatest college pastime. I love procrastinating, and I think it just makes me feel better when I get a 5-page paper done in an hour and then get a 60 on it, but as long as it's turned in. The next one we got is 90 minutes is too long for a class. I'm gonna beg you to log off TikTok and just restore your attention span because 90 minutes is really not that long of a time. The next one is how it feels to walk across campus right now with the howling winds. It's a nice little picture of SpongeBob. I almost dropped my chicken earlier today when I was walking and the wind almost blew it out of my hands. That would have been a detrimental disaster, so I'm glad that didn't happen. The next one is CA chats after freshman year are literally the stupidest thing ever. I'm a grown adult and I don't need a mandatory meeting with a peer to make sure everything is okay. If I have a problem, I'll ask for help. I've gotten like 5 emails from my CA this semester, and I'm probably not gonna have a CA chat. So to my CA, if you're watching, I'm all right. I'm doing good. So I hope this counts as our CA chat, and glad we can check it off the books. The next one is a Dunkin' on campus would cure me. I hope you know we do have a Starbucks on campus, and it's all the same thing, really. All right, and that appears that's all we have for this week's edition of What's Fizzin'. If you see a fizz you think should be featured in the next What's Fizzin', send us a DM at Siena College Communications Program on Instagram, and your fizz might just be featured in the next episode. When we come back, find out more about the loaded week of events on campus on this edition of Your Week Ahead.
Before we go, let's take a look at your week ahead.
A Songs and Sundays event is being held tonight at 6 p.m. in the chapel. Join Psalm 150 for a concert and to enjoy some ice cream. The performances will be by fellow Saints.
Also, later tonight, the first meeting of the Italian Club is being held in Snyder Hall. It will be in room 159 at 5. This is the first meeting for the club in 2025, so make sure you head over for some snacks and to appreciate Italian culture.
Midterm season has many people feeling stressed, so make sure you cut out some time for some self-care. Yoga classes will be resuming this Monday, February 24th in the MAC Aerobics Room. Make sure to follow the Siena Women's Center on Instagram for more updates.
Siena is hosting a Menstruation Madness event. Donation of menstrual products are highly encouraged, and collection boxes are located all around campus, including in the SSU on February 21st and the 26th. Go to the SSU atrium to vote for your top product.
The Siena Study Abroad office is celebrating National Study Abroad Day this Monday at noon in the SSU. Study Abroad Day honors the impacts of being able to travel internationally while still in college. There will be information sessions, raffles, and free giveaways.
A new play called Clown Bar, directed by Siena students James Kelly, is going to be performed on campus on March 21st and the 22nd. It is an immersive theater piece that takes inspiration from a crime noir, except every character is a clown. Stay on the lookout for more information about the show.
Siena College's Black Student Union is bringing style, culture, and creativity to the runway with their upcoming fashion show. From bold looks to community impact, this event is about more than fashion. This event offers a unique opportunity for students to learn, participate, and celebrate together. Our own Tiana Xavier spoke to some of the fashion show organizers. Let's go take a look.
This is where all the magic happens. I am at Siena College's location where Black Student Union is going to be holding their highly anticipated fashion show. There's going to be elements such as fashion, community, sustainability, and so much more. I spoke to the BSU president and the BSU event planner about what we can expect from this event and how it impacts the Siena community. And let me tell you, what they have to say is definitely worth a listen.
Bringing creativity, culture, and self-expression to the runway, the Black Student Union is hosting its second ever fashion show, set to take place in the Great Maloney Room in the SSU tomorrow at 7 p.m. With an expanded lineup and a fresh new theme, organizers say this year's show is set to be bigger and better.
Definitely a lot of planning. This is the second time that the BSU is having the fashion show, so just from last year to this year, just a lot more planning and a lot more thought was put into this fashion show, which, you know, was a plus, you know. And as far as like people performing, just really the Solid Step team, so probably about 20 people, and then we have an overwhelmingly large amount of models this year, which is something that's really good also. And probably like 50 to 100 people I'm expecting to show up.
The theme of this year's show is Color the Runway, a concept designed to celebrate individuality and the power of color in fashion.
The theme is Color the Runway, and when I first was thinking of a theme, I thought this one was the best way to show style, because last year the theme was Through the Decades, and you know, the decades, they have different styles, but color, like certain colors just bring certain emotions, certain thoughts, and I said this is the theme, and then Color the Runway, of course, so yeah.
Beyond fashion, this event also highlights sustainability and affordability. Through a partnership with the Free Use Closet on campus, BSU is encouraging students to express themselves without breaking the bank.
So promoting sustainability is important, especially with everything that's going on in our world. Things are expensive, clothing is expensive, it's hard to get the necessities, so the Free Use Closet promotes sustainability, one, but also you can dress nice, you can dress to impress without having to break your wallet, essentially.
But for Black Student Union, this show is about more than just clothing. It's about representation, community, and celebrating Black culture on campus.
BSU plays a lot of roles at Siena. First, we're a resource out for other students. We like to connect together because we do go to a PWI, therefore there's not many students of color also, but it gives us a reason to see each other a lot more. It gives us a safe space to be connected to one another, learn from one another, and just connect to our Black roots. The reason why the fashion show is so important for us is because not only does it give an area for students of color to test their limits with fashion, but also just gives them a fun event to look forward to. For me, being president of BSU, I've always wanted to try new things and get students engaged a little bit more. So with having Expose, Taste Black Culture, like the normal activities that we have, the normal events we have, I wanted to kind of broaden it up and make it a little bit more. So that's where the fashion show came from, just trying to get people to brainstorm different ideas.
With a larger lineup and a bold new theme and a focus on creativity and sustainability, this year's BSU Fashion Show is shaping up to be a standout event. Whether you're coming for the fashion, the performances, or a sense of community, organizers say there's something for everyone. Reporting from SCTV, I'm Tiana Xavier. And that will do it for us. Thank you for sharing your time with us this morning.
Make sure to subscribe to the Siena College Communications Program YouTube page and the SCTV Instagram page at sienacollege.tv. We'll see you next week.